Hello, and welcome to another Retail News Roundup. I'm Tim Campbell, head of CommerceIQ's Industry Insights. And today, at the start of the week, we have another 4 articles for you to understand, or to read, to better understand the state of retail, e-commerce, and the economy. So let's get into it. We'll get into these 4 articles. And if you are interested in reading the articles yourself, you can just take a look at the comment section off to the side, and you'll see all 4 articles listed there. But the first article is actually from CommerceIQ directly, and it's Prime Day 2022 highlights. So now that it's been a little bit since Prime Day occurred, some of the data is out, and of course the CommerceIQ, we track our own customers, our own first-party vendor customers on Amazon and elsewhere for that matter. We're able to get a look at what actually happened on Prime Day itself. And the data is really interesting. There are actually a few surprises here. One of the things that we noted in some of our blog posts leading up to Prime Day was that discounts had become really weren't common at all. Discount levels had no significant rise for either 2020 or 2021's Prime Day. And in 2022, that is no longer true. Discount levels increased about 39% over and above their baseline levels for Prime Day 2022, compared to kind of a day before that Prime Day, around that same time, but not Prime Day. So a 39% increase, so quite significant. And let's see, that's what you see. That's what you see right here. That being said, very interesting to see that discounts just in general have become less frequent. So even though there was a spike in discounts around Prime Day and a few days before Prime Day for 2022, that spike essentially served to bring discounts up to the level that they were at, the absolute level that they were at, in previous years. So discounts in general becoming used less frequently, but they did see a spike in usage around Prime Day 2022. And another interesting thing was that largely seems to be taken from a decrease in ad spend around that same time, right, for Prime Day. So the average ad spend lift versus kind of a normal day around Prime Day for each year. Previously, in about 2021, was about 4.1 or 4.1 times lift. And this year, we saw more at a 3.4 times lift. So a significantly smaller lift. We think that while it is still a very large lift, vendors are transferring some of their funds a little bit, maybe potentially transferring some of the as a share of their budget a bit away from ad spend, a bit more towards discounts just for this Prime Day, just for this past Prime Day. So pretty interesting. I don't think it means that discounts necessarily are making a huge return, but it could mean that they're making a large return for holidays in particular, or maybe just for future Prime Days to help drive their relevance. And then as a whole, I would say it worked. OPS lift for Prime Day for an average brand was up 2.8 times as the normal lift versus 2.5 times the normal lift for 2021. Now, our second article here is from Insider, from Ben Tobin, and it's a great look at some of the overstock issues that Walmart is facing in its back rooms in its stores. They essentially have too much inventory in a lot of key categories like decor, apparel, and others. And Walmart, in contrast to Target, has opted to actually not or sell through as much as they possibly can during this period. So really, not like Target, not necessarily canceling orders, but really trying to sell through as much as they can. And what that has meant for Walmart is that their back rooms are, stacked with inventory, and that sometimes it even compounds the problem. You have backroom workers unable to, properly tag and classify incoming shipments, incoming freight, and that has meant that their automated inventory system has actually just ordered more because it doesn't realize how much is already in the system. So an interesting look at Walmart, also an interesting look at how these systems really need to be designed with realistic failure points in mind to make sure that they're optimized for real use case scenarios. The third article here is from CNBC, and it gets at Target, how they're chasing bigger e-commerce profits with new delivery hubs and fleets of drivers. So interesting here is that Target is building out more and more sortation centers. Hold on one second. Target is building out more and more centers. And hold on, I gotta take one moment, and I'll be back in one. Apologies for that interruption. But what we see in this article going on here is that Target essentially is saying that they're acknowledging that their fulfillment centers aren't doing the best job, of actually providing dense delivery routes for their e-commerce capabilities. Fulfillment centers are great at providing uh, powerful, great at providing, aggregating inventory, aggregating uh, packaging of that inventory then to send out, but it's not necessarily optimized for best delivery once it leaves that center. Sortation centers help solve that problem. So interesting look at what's happening there. And then the final article here is taken from Mint, and it's our focus on India, which we like to include. And it's that a U.S. recession will also come to India's tech hub. And what this looks at is that, India is very tied. India's tech industry, especially in Bengaluru, is very tied to the U.S. tech industry, especially their ability to outsource capabilities to ensure that they're reducing costs as much as possible for the U.S.-based businesses. And this article posits that despite forecasts of growth for this industry in India over the coming year, really what's going to happen is that profitability is already constrained for a lot of these companies, and that as U.S. companies see their profitability constrained or want to focus more on it, it could kind of trickle down to India as well, and maybe we could be seeing some of that in the latter half of this year. Personally, I think it comes down to whether or not you have kind of a net positive of U.S. tech companies saying we need to invest more in outsourcing cost-cutting measures to India, which could boost the industry, or we need to pull back altogether on any sort of costs associated with those partnerships and outsourcing, which could hurt the industry. So I think it'll be interesting to keep an eye on, what's happening and how that moves, how that changes moving forward. With that being said, that wraps us up for this week in terms of the articles that we have. So check us out next week if you're interested in. Still interested in seeing, what articles you need to read to better understand retail, e-commerce, and the economy moving forward. But that wraps us up. So until then, I will wish you a good week and look forward to talking to you in the future.